Best gift for everyone. Carva Mini.
अंतकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्ति अत्र संशयः. And whoever at the time of death quits his body remembering me alone at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. So as we were discussing, this human form of life is a preparation for death. Just imagine a child who has worked very hard to go into a good university and is completely unaware of the exam he has to face, and he wastes his entire time in university for nothing. The university also offers various programs for recreation, various sporting facilities, various cultural events, and so many other things, so that the student can study very nicely. Similarly, all the material comforts are offered by the material nature so that we prepare very nicely for this ultimate examination. And if the student gets lost enjoying the other facilities which are meant to support this education, the final exam, the placements, then all his entry, his hard work to come into that college is wasted. Similarly, we are wasting this human form of life if we are not preparing for death. Every moment we should be conscious. That is why it is told in Bhagavatam, Turnam yatet na patet anumrityu yavan, with great haste. Just like a sincere student with great haste would like to finish the syllabus. But in our case, we should have even greater haste because we do not know when the final exam will be. That test would be surprise test. Any day, any time it can happen. Ahani ahani bhutani gacchanti yamalayam. So what preparation has to be done? This is the preparation. A suitable consciousness so that we can have the best body in the next life. Even a small atom does not appear by chance. We very clearly can define those people who know this science. If these two atoms come together, then if temperature and pressure is this molecule will be produced. If they meet under different conditions, the output would be different. In a similar fashion, when man and woman come together, this is the consciousness, certain kind of child will be produced. The child will be man or woman, also depends upon the consciousness of man or woman who are mating. Whether girl child will come or boy child will come, it depends upon the parents, their consciousness. What would be the characteristics, the features, the qualities of the newborn baby also depends upon the consciousness of the parents. That is why in the Vedas there is Garbhadhan Sanskar. Their consciousness is purified so that suitable souls are brought here. So it's a great science how to bring a healthy child in body, in mind. It is a great science and training is given to the parents. A ceremony is there, priest is called, purification of consciousness is there. It's not a secret affair, it's declared openly that now parents are going to conceive a child. There's proper date and time for that. There are times when if mating happens, demoniac souls will come who are very lusty, greedy and disturbed. So this is a great science. An atom is not produced by chance. So this wonderful machine will happen to appear by chance? No. Unfortunately, there is no department where such sciences are discussed. This education was given in the Gurukul system. So we have to train our consciousness. Now the question can be, okay, I can become Devta. So which kind of body should I have? What should I do? That description is given. Just like now also, the description is given. We know if you work like this, you prepare like this, study these subjects, then you will end up as a police officer, and these are the comforts, these are the powers of police officer. If you want to enjoy like that, prepare like this. Oh, you want administrative services, then different thing, in a different way you have to prepare. You want to work as a scientist, then you have to prepare differently. You want to go into Academia, you have to prepare differently. So depending on what kind of life we want to live, enjoy, different preparation is there. So just like now we hear from the books or from authorized sources and we prepare accordingly. Similarly, different species, different planets, the life there is mentioned in the Vedas, and the yogis, they prepare accordingly and get those bodies. But the intelligent person should ask, which is the best body? Just like people ask, which is the best job? I want to have that. So that Krishna is telling here. So do not think of this thing or that thing at the time of death. Anta kale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Smaran means remembrance. Anta kale means, anta means end, kala means time. At the final time of departure from this body, if you are thinking of me, yaf prayati mad bhavam, you will attain body of my nature. What is the nature of Krishna's body? Satchid Ananda, full of knowledge, eternity and bliss. We will get a similar body if we meditate on Krishna at the time of death. Why? Because Krishna explains the formula, how we can get next body. This is a great secret. That is why Krishna tells, now I am going to tell you important secret knowledge. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat ante kalevaram. Whatever a person thinks at the time of ante kalevar, kalevar means this body, tyajati means when we leave this body, whatever is our consciousness, tam tam eveti konteya, O Kunti Putra Arjuna, sada tad bhav, a body of similar nature, you will attain. So if a person has been very lusty and those activities at the time of death, entire life passes as a flash. So if a person thinks of those lusty activities, he will get a body in which he can act very lustily, but all those bodies, animal species, are full of suffering. Entire life, animal is very fearful, and anytime there is impending death, and it's very, very troublesome situation. So whatever person has done during entire life, death is a flashback of all those things. And similar body a person is able to get in the next life. But if a person does not know this, is not very careful, even one may be doing very nicely, just like Bharat Maharaj, after whom this entire planet was called Bharatvarsha. Now this small country is called Bharatvarsha or India. So Bharat Maharaj was very advanced spiritualist. He renounced at the age of 24 years and he was highly advanced. He reached the 8th level of spiritual life, Bhava stage. And he was about to make his life perfect, but he somehow became attached to a deer. And he was young. He could not have, he would have thought that I will continue to live for some more time. But it so happened, one day the deer did not come back to his hut. And then he became very afraid. Other animals would have consumed the deer. He went out running madly for the deer. It became very dark. He started running and madly looking for the deer. And somehow he tripped off and he landed up in a very deep trench. And finally, he lost his life. And when he was about to leave his body, he was absorbed in the thoughts of deer, and the deer came and stood next to him. So because he was absorbed in the thought of deer, he became a deer in his next life. But because he was advanced devotee by mercy of Krishna, he was able to have memory of his previous life. Such people are called Jati Smara, who are able to remember their previous lives. So then he could understand, I did a great mistake in my previous life. Now I don't want to have any attachment of this material world. If I think of anything material, person, people, place, things, if we imagine, then our next birth will be centered around them. If we think of some house, we are attached to a house. If there is good karma, we'll take birth as human in that house, or if karma is bad, we'll take birth as cockroach or insect in that house. In that way, it is very dangerous. So Bharat Maharaj, knowing this law, he was very careful. He did not live with his deer community. He went near the hermitages of the great sages. He was taking the remnants of food items left by them, prasadam, because this is a great secret. The remnants of great sages, pure devotees, that is very, very powerful for spiritual advancement. So he was just taking that prasadam, and then he started doing fasting, and he left his deer body. Then he took again birth as Jad Bharat. He took birth in a very nice Brahmin family, cultured family, but he was knowing his past two births. So he was very careful. Now I don't want to entangle myself in this material world. So if I show I am intelligent, then again they will entangle me in regular material affairs. So he started behaving like a mad person. That is called Jad. Jad Bharat, mad Bharat. So you give him one instruction, he will do just the opposite. So thus people started neglecting him. So we think if people neglect it, it is not good. But for spiritualists, yes, unless you want to preach in the society and spread this knowledge, neglect is very, very good. If nobody cares for us, then we can very nicely think of Krishna always, engage in Krishna's service, and at the time of death, if we think of Krishna, then we get a body like Krishna. So this is very important, and this we should always keep in mind. The consciousness of Krishna, the thoughts of Krishna, that is why it is told in the Vedas. We all want to gain something here in this life. What is the biggest gain that a person can have? Labh. Labh means gain. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Parinishthaya Janma Labha Para Punsam Ante Narayana Smriti. The user manual of our life is telling us, you follow any path. Some people tell if you follow Gyan, you will attain this Brahmananda, this pleasure. Some people tell you follow this Yoga, Ashtanga, then you will get mystical powers, Ashtasiddhis. And some people tell something else. So Vedas are telling you follow any path. You follow Sankhya, you follow Yoga, or Swadharma Parinishthaya, you follow your own prescribed duties in the social status of life. Janma Labha Para Punsam, but the greatest benefit which you should aim for, I'll repeat. But the greatest benefit which you should aim for by engaging in any path you want to follow is Ante Narayana Smriti. At the time of death, Narayan Smriti, remembrance of Lord Narayan or Lord Krishna. Because this is the secret. At the time of death, if you think of Krishna, you go to Krishna and you get a body like Krishna. Then there is no more death, birth, disease and old age.